Hi everyone, I'm Lillian. Do you know what it's like to be a doll? How it is to pretend to be her in order to reveal the dirty secrets of others? What if those people were close to you? Once you try, you'll instantly learn everything about them. In the same way, I figured out the secret of my stepsister, Betty. Only later, it turned out it wasn't her secret, but mine. To be honest, I don't remember when Betty and I became sisters. Her father married my mother. In addition, I had a memory gap in my head. It seems like I had an accident, but no one talks about that period, so I stopped digging. I just continued to live and do what I love. I played the guitar. I love to do it. One day I got a great idea: to play the guitar and earn money for children from our orphanage. We had a snowy owl doll in our garage for a long time. It wasn't used, but it wasn't thrown away either. Once I took it out, cleaned it, and dragged it to the center, got up with the guitar and began to play and sing songs, the owl doll became my assistant. Every year before Christmas, I earned good money, about $5,000 to $7,000, and gave everything to that center. The kids were happy, and so am I. However, last year, I discovered there wasn't enough money. A box was installed next to the owl. I got used to the fact that no one touched either the owl or the money because everyone knew that they were given to children for the holidays. And then there was some unscrupulous dude. To find out who this thief was, I climbed inside the owl and pretended to be a doll. After standing for a couple of cold hours, I nonetheless saw who was stealing the money and couldn't believe that Betty would fall to such a level. I didn't do anything when she pulled out my bucks. The next day after following her, I saw that she was mercilessly spending the money I had earned. I told my mother about everything, demanded punishment, or at least a conversation with Betty and my stepfather, but my mother would not believe me. This was to be expected. Then I invited her to stay with me in the evening. In the afternoon, having earned somewhere around $700, I closed the box and pretended to go home. Then I quietly hid in the owl, and my mother was sitting nearby. An hour later, the thief came. But you won't believe it. It wasn't Betty, but a dude I didn't know. I was shocked. Of course, I took the money back as soon as I moved in the suit. The kid fell and dumped, leaving the loot. However, I was lectured for my mother for my baseless accusations. But I promised myself to bring that thief to light. Mom left and I slowly walked. But in the middle of the street, someone attacked me and pressed me against the wall. It was her. You thought of exposing me. You think I don't know that you were following me? Then why the hell were you taking my money? This is the least you can give me. What are you talking about? I don't owe you anything. You're wrong. You stole my life, you bitch! Are you kidding? Are you drunk? Betty was furious. She rarely behaved like this, but still, there were some times. I could never understand her, what she wanted from me, and why she hated me so much. It was Christmas time, and I didn't have time to earn enough money, so I went to extreme measures and stole Betty's gold watch and pawned it. The money was then taken to the center. On the way home, I already imagined her face, but I had an argument. Her theft. I thought so hard about what I was going to say, I almost got hit by a car. I jumped to the side of the road and fell into the snow. Immediately, my head cracked at the seams. Memories flooded in a frosty stream over my skin directly into my brain. They were so real that I couldn't hold back my tears. Then I ran home. I wanted to find Betty, but she was nowhere to be found. Night was coming. Her phone was disabled. My parents were in a light panic. They searched all around, but she was nowhere to be found. And then it dawned on me. I know where she is. I ran to look for the place where the biggest accident happened, due to which I lost my memory. Not far from the orphanage center. There was no one there. I sat down next to my owl and cried. It's all my fault. I'm sorry, Betty. I ran out into the road in the stupid owl costume and didn't see the car coming. My guitar teacher, Mrs. Dolls, she swerved off the road so as not to hit me, and the car crashed. Every word was difficult for me, and I heard Betty crying from the owl. I took off the doll's head and saw my half-sister crying bitterly. I apologized to her 100,000 more times, and our parents stood side by side. A few years ago, I started playing with the guys from the center. My mother worked there as a teacher for some time. The ball flew out of the territory directly onto the road. I ran after it in the suit and didn't see the car driven by my guitar teacher. She was the one who taught me how to play. She turned the steering wheel to the side and the car flew over the bridge. That was Betty's mother. From fear, I fell into a coma. Miraculously, I got out of it after 1.5 years. During this time, my mother and Betty's father managed to fall in love with each other. My sister was hurt the most. She remembers everything and lived through it, unlike me. Now I have a completely different attitude towards her. Now I don't dare to hate her anymore. Now we sit together in the snow, bawling and hugging. It was the first Christmas that made me want to start all over again, with a clean slate. Hello everyone, my name is Yasu, and I am from Taiwan. I conquered TikTok in just a few months, gained a lot of subscribers for myself, and worked in this way. But one day, a wave of hate hit me. During the night, I lost about 700,000 subscribers and came down with a temperature of 39.5. Are you wondering how I lost everything? Then keep listening. That morning, a girl became attached to me. She shoved me local sweets and asked me to buy them. But I, angry, hit her box and her sweets fell on the road. A car ran over them and crushed them. The video went viral and a wave of hatred erupted. It turned out that that kid is an orphan and she survives at the expense of such a business. Damn, my attempts to apologize or somehow bribe her were already useless. My crisis manager advised me to lay low temporarily and then make a big, kind gesture. For example, charity to an unfamiliar, poor family. Fortunately, he quickly found one. I arrived with bags full of groceries and knocked on their door. UA's manager stood behind the camera and filmed. A few minutes later, the door finally was opened. It was a guy about my age with a cap on his head. I said hello, and he immediately slammed the door and then opened it and told me to go away. I put my foot out to keep the door open and repeated that this was charity. I know who you are. You want to restore your reputation, don't you, you TikToker? It won't work at our expense. I am not for sale. Just wait. Remove your leg, otherwise you'll get hurt. Suddenly, someone called him in a weak voice. He pushed me and closed the door. Suddenly it opened again, and a wheelchair came out. Wow, it must have been a sick mother. She looked so weak and exhausted. The guy rolled out the wheelchair and they went along the street. Look, the wheel on her wheelchair is broken. They can't even drive properly. Are you thinking the same thing as... It's all meant to be. We bought her a new stroller and brought it for her the next day. The guy in the cab asked me to leave again, but even worse, my anti-fans filmed it and another wave of hate swept TikTok. UA then learned that our subject's mother was ill and needed an expensive operation to remove a spinal hernia that left her unable to walk. Then I went broke, offering that guy to pay for the operation in exchange for a joint TikTok. After 3 days, a short, I agree, inspired me. It turned out that his mother was in the hospital. She had gotten worse. Arriving at the hospital, I gave the cash over and his mother was taken to intensive care. We had a nice chat for several hours, and when the doctor came out, he said that everything was fine with his mother. We exhaled and were told that she would sleep there until the morning. Hungry? Yeah, a little bit. Let's go make some Neoju. We arrived at the old Tao house. I didn't know then that I would find something of very valuable. Inside it, it was nice, despite the dilapidation. Tao went to the kitchen. My attention was drawn to a childhood photo of one mega popular TikToker 3 years. Weird. Where did he get that from? He doesn't seem like someone who likes TikTok. Tao then entered the room and brought soup on a tray. I ate and immediately felt good inside. Then I asked him where he got the TikToker photo from. Tao ate and joked that he stole the thing. I didn't believe him and asked him to sell it to me, but he said that he could not and would not sell it. That girl made millions. Nobody knew why he disappeared. He sold the account and hasn't been seen since. The star only showed his photo of himself as a child once. Everyone remembered his mole under his eyebrow. And then my heart skipped a beat. I carefully removed his cap and saw a mole under Tao's eyebrow. Oh no, it can't be! I bombarded him with questions. Where did you go? Why did you stop filming? Was it because of your mom? What happened? But Tao remained silent, and then he suggested that I save my account through the story of my help for his family. We shot several videos, and it got a lot of likes and approval. The number of subscribers has recovered and even increased. Tao thanked me, and then our paths diverged, but that didn't make me any happier. One day I went back to his house to visit his mother. We had a nice walk, but then I got a hysterical call from Yue Wei. Someone dug up about Tao. His mother was recognized and a video appeared where you go to the hospital with her. Now everyone believes that your help was fake so Tao could appear on TikTok again. My manager yelled. Then Tao went into the house. He accused me of leaking information, and now people hung out near his house and wouldn't give him a rest. It was not true, but he wouldn't listen. He threw the baby photo at me and said, "Here is the payment for the operation. You can sell the original. Count on that." Only later did I find out that his mother got sick because of her son's TikTok. He was too busy to pay attention to her complaints about her back until she could no longer walk. Tao then abandoned TikTok and began to fully look after his sick mother. He sold everything to pay for her long-term treatment. However, this didn't help, and they had no money to pay for the operation. So you really did a good deed. It's a pity that everyone on the network distorted it in their own way. I don't care what they say about me online. What are you talking about? You have to save your account. If my subscribers are only people who want to gloat and gossip, I don't need them. So I sold my accounts on social networks. With the proceeds, I bought a rehabilitation center for Tao's mother. He came to me himself, asking why I did that for him. But I only wanted to do the right thing and returned his photo. Do you think I did the right thing? Let me know.